Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Yoga for Everybody class, Plano Parks and Recreation, Sam Johnson Center. This is our first session for our new series. My name is Skylar Ramirez. Let's get started. You can either sit or lie down on the floor. We begin with about 3 to 5 minutes of mindful breathing today. In this mindful breathing practice, you might want to put both hands over your stomach, in particular over the navel or over the abdomen. And let's begin to feel for the breath moving down into the belly. So with this particular breathing technique, we want to feel on every inhale that the stomach is rounding itself out. So as the lower portion of the lungs fill with the breath, the belly is going to move out and away from the spine. We might even notice the breath moving out against the side waist or over the hips. If you're lying down, you may feel the breath in your low back, and there'll be just a little bit of subtle resistance from the earth pushing into the backs of your lungs. From seated, you may have less movement in the belly if you focus the intent of the breath into your low back. Let's inhale and exhale from the nose as much as possible. This is according to exercise science and neurobiology, one of the most effective ways to breathe so that we're able to quickly oxygenate the blood and also quickly bring clarity up into the mind space. Inhaling through the nose. If you notice any subtle obstructions with the breath, that is really common. It could be that there is congestion with the change of the seasons. It could be that it is structural. Maybe it's just the way the nose is made. No matter what you notice with this breath, try breathing in through the nose as much as possible. If you're noticing that there's a lot of obstruction with your exhale, let it go from your throat. And maybe keep the lips together while you exhale from the nose or the throat. And you'll begin to listen for a unique hollowed out quality with that breath. Inhaling through the nose, drawing the breath in. There may be bits of effort with this. And then exhale from the nose or from the throat, lips together. And just listen for the quality of your breath. Again, there might be a little bit of effort. It might be challenging. We might notice obstacles with the breath. And that's okay. We're going to face those obstacles with the breath and breathe in through the nose as much as possible. At any point, if we notice that we're not able to get a full breath and maybe that creates a lot of discomfort, return to a natural breath. Return to that breath that your body feels most at ease with. And every once in a while through the class, I'll remind you to inhale into the nose. And maybe you just face that challenge for a little while of inhaling through the nose, and then you return to a natural breath. Let's feel the abdomen expanding as we inhale, contracting as we exhale, setting our intention for our practice today. We're letting go of any judgment of the breath, judgment of how the body responds to the movement today, letting go of any judgment of thoughts that might move in and out of the mind, letting go of judgment of any emotions that might come up during the practice, understanding that what we feel physically, emotionally, what we notice in the mind, all of these things many times are outside of our control. Observing the art of letting go, of parigraha. Let's allow the breath to express the practice of letting go. Release your exhale with a sigh. And notice how good it feels to let go. Let's try a couple more easy breaths, inhaling with maybe a bit of effort into the nose, round out your belly, and then exhale and let it go. Aparigraha. Let's practice that one more time. Big inhale in through the nose, maybe a little bit of effort, round out that belly, push the breath into your low back and sideways, and then let it go. If you're seated right now, I invite you to make your way into lying down on the floor so that we can begin a gentle warm up for the body. From seated, we might want to sway the knees over to one side and then lie down on our side. From here, roll onto your back. We could always use a pillow or a blanket under the head to create more comfort in the body. See if I can move a few more things out of the way this morning. There we go. All right, so as we lie down on our backs, let's draw both knees into the chest, Appanasana. From here, we may want to hold on behind the knees, and we could even take the knees out wide and pull the knees in towards the shoulders. From wherever you are, go ahead and rock a little bit side to side. Let's introduce maybe just a little bit more energy to the spine, to the kidneys and the adrenal glands. When you're ready, bring the body to neutral. Let's stretch the legs up. Roll out the ankles, point and flex the feet. From here, hug just the left knee into your chest. Let's push up with a flat right foot and bend that knee gently. We're going to slowly lower that leg down towards the ground, all the way to the ground, and push through a straight leg. We can hold that left knee in tight to the chest and maybe just create a little bit of a pull in with the ribs to create a contraction. If it feels right for you, if you want to experiment with this, take the right hand behind your head and slowly support the head to come up into an abdominal crunch, head to knee pose. From here, relax your head down. Let's bring the right knee in, hold on behind that knee, flatten the left foot. Keep a little bend in that left leg, slowly lower it down, push dynamically through the heel. And if it feels right for you, take the left hand behind your head for support. Let's bring the chin into the chest and curl up through the spine, coming into a head to knee pose, contracting the abdomen deeply. Staying here for one more easy breath, one more exhale. When you're ready, slowly lower down. Let's draw that left knee into the chest. Both toes are pointed. Go ahead and let the knees rock a little bit again, side to side. Keeping those toes pointed, let's take one toe down to the ground, just a tap, and then bring it up. Switching sides, the other toe comes down, and then bring it up. So we're keeping that deep bend in the knee as we continue to alternate with the toes pointed. And ultimately, with those toes pointed, the muscles are going to stay a little tighter in the calf and all the way up into your low back. So this is to protect your low back. Move strictly from the hip joint into those toe taps and continue to support the legs. Let's do one more on each side. Absolutely no rush with this. Just waking up some of those muscles in the hip flexors. Let's flex the feet. See that the knees are at the width of your hips. So find where the fleshy hip is. And when you draw a line straight up, the outsides of the knees are in line with the fleshy hip. Let's lower our feet down to the floor. Extend the arms up overhead. Big reach. Maybe even imagine you're trying to climb a rope so that we pull the ribs and the shoulder blades out along the floor, creating a little more length in the spine. When you're ready, lower the palms down beside you, push down into your elbows and hands. On an inhale, let's peel up the tailbone and push into the feet, into bridge. Setu Bandha Sharvangasana. As we exhale, we slowly lower the hips down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down. Inhaling, lifting the hips. Exhale, lower the hips down. Bring the arms overhead. Reach dynamically. On the inhale, let's lift the hips. Press the palms down. Maybe squeeze the buttocks and just hold it here, stabilizing those energies in your low back, the lower spine. Imagine a yoga block or a volleyball between the knees. We're squeezing in and dynamically pushing down. Taking a big breath into the chest. Push your shoulders back into the floor. Now, if you're not feeling a big lift here, maybe lift your hands away from the floor and push down with the elbows to get that additional lift and that additional engagement of the muscles in the hips. From here, let's lower the hips. Easy does it. Let the knees sway gently side to side, loosening up the low back. When you're ready, roll it all the way over to one side, and let's use our top arm onto the floor, facing the floor. We're pushing up into an all fours position for cat and cow flow. For our cat and cow flow, let's check in with our alignment. The knee is under the hip bone. We have a shoulder, elbow, wrist alignment. And you have the option to come onto the fist with the thumbs forward or come down onto your elbows. That can be really fantastic. No pressure on the wrist when we're on the elbows. From wherever you are, I'm encouraged to try something different. Although I don't have any wrist pain, I'm going to use fist for wrist today just to introduce the body to some different sensations. Most injuries in yoga are called overuse injuries. That means we do too much of the same thing with the body, and over time it can create discomfort. Once we find that foundation, let's drop the belly, press the hips back, lengthen through the spine into cow pose. Big inhale. Exhale, pull the navel up, and maybe exhale with the mouth open. That ha breath. Releasing tension in the low back and hips. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, little bend in the elbows, opening up through the throat, stretching through the collarbones. And exhale, pull the navel up, ha breath. Let's do one more. Inhale, extension, stretching the fronts of the lungs, shoulders pressed towards the hips. Exhaling, flexion. Let's find all fours position. From here, let's open up the left arm beside us. So open up, maybe even look over your left shoulder. And then exhale, weave that hand down through your right hand and knee. Thread the needle just for a moment. And then inhale, bring it up again. So we're going to do anywhere from 3 to 5 of these. Inhale to open. Exhale to come around. This can be done from a seated position as well. You don't have to stay uncomfortable on your knees. You can inhale and open, and then exhale, bring it through. Let's do one more. Inhale, open, and then exhale, bring it through. When you're ready, let's switch sides. Left arm, left hand is still, left shoulder is stable. You can tuck or untuck your toes. And again, you could sit back comfortably. Let's inhale, opening through the right side of the body. Looking over the right shoulder so that twist engages from the tailbone all the way up to the neck and head. Exhale, weaving it through, swivel at the waist. Let the body round just a little bit, just a tiny bit softening in your shoulders. Inhaling to open, big breath. Exhale to close. Maybe 2 or 3 more. Again, if it gets uncomfortable on your knees, just sit up for a moment. Give those knees a rest. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Maybe 1 more if that's what your body is craving. And then exhale. When you're ready, let's bring it into child's pose, letting the hips press back towards the heels. You can tuck or untuck the feet to get different types of stretches through the ankles and the feet tissues. Let's let the head shake yes a little bit. Roll it left and right. From here, let's shift forward into a kneeling plank, stacking shoulder, elbow, wrist. Stretch out just the left leg straight behind you with the toe tucked under. And now bring it in. Let's take the right leg straight back, toe tucked under. Bring that in. Let's continue to alternate that movement. So we're introducing some really isolated weight bearing into one hip at a time. The significance in this is maintaining bone density. Weight bearing exercises are recommended for preservation of bone material, prevention of osteoporosis. So weight bearing doesn't have to be through lifting a bunch of weights. We can use our own body weight to keep the bones healthy. Let's do 1 more on each side, just a little bit of weight bearing into one hip at a time. When you feel that this is evened up for your own body, maybe come to all fours. Walk the hands forward just 3 or 4 inches in front of you, or come down to your elbows. From here, we can tuck our toes and pull the tailbone under. So you're doing a little bit of a cat pose while you're here with the arms in front of the shoulders. From here, we can lift our knees, maybe keep those knees deeply bent, or push the hips slightly up and back into your expression of a downward facing dog. We could always stay on the elbows, keep pressing the elbows into the floor, and make sure the head is hovering over the floor. No pressure or no excessive pressure into the crown of the head. From here, you're welcome to pedal in that downward facing dog. We could work that leg stretch in from kneeling. We could continue instead with that alternating leg back and then push back. So you don't have to be inverted to get a nice leg stretch in through the body. Let's mind the breath. Practice a few exhales from the throat. Big exhale. The bigger the exhale, the chances are the more we're going to release tension in the back, the hips, and the spine. Let's even this up when it feels right for you. Come to any still point, and let's think about the approach our bodies might want to take to standing today. So based on functional movement to maintain activities for daily living, we recommend that you maybe use a chair or a prop and then step 1 foot forward. You can bring that leg a little bit out to the side if it's more comfortable. One hand to the thigh. We're going to tuck that back toe so we can lift and push up to standing. Now, once you make your way up to standing, hands might stay on the thighs, establishing neutral spine first, and then eventually come all the way up to standing. Hey, everybody. The yard people just got here, so you might hear some stuff going on in the background. All right, so from wherever you are in your body, let's see if I can get myself in the frame just right. A little bit down, feet. Okay. There we go. This is better. Okay, so from wherever you are, let's bring the hands into the heart. Bring the chin down. And as you inhale, think of pulling the chest up into the hands and then maybe open the throat. So it's a standing supported back bend. As we exhale, let's come through center. Walk the hands down to the thighs and push the hips behind you. On an inhale, standing cow, deeply bending the knees, unhinge the hips back, and then lift up through the chest. So you might want to straighten your arms and look straight forward. On the exhale, let's bend our elbows, tuck the tailbone under, and gently curl the spine, dropping the head and the neck. Keeping space between the feet. It could be hips width. It could be a little more if the body feels more stable. You can even take it out really wide with the toes out and the heels in if that feels better for your body. On the inhale, we're straightening our arms, pushing the hips back, dropping the belly, looking forward, lengthening through the spine. Big inhale around your heart. And then exhale, bend the elbows, pull the tailbone under, round the upper back, and drop the head. Let's hold it here in that standing cat position. Ultimately, we're encouraging more of the water element in the body during this shift in the seasons when we're moving into more dry or cold air. It's these sorts of movements that we incorporate when we look at yoga as medicine for the body. When you're ready, inhaling, flip the hips back, straightening the arms, lengthening through the spine, open the throat, inhale into the center of the chest. Big smile with this. We're opening up the heart energy. When you're ready, exhale, bend the elbows, tuck the tailbone under, stretching the kidneys and the adrenal glands ever so gently, and then dropping the head. Let's shake the head, yes. Yes, it's a beautiful day. Turn the head left and right. Just gentle neck stretch. When you're ready, come to center, neutral spine. Let's walk the hands up. Now, if you haven't already, take your feet out, maybe a little wider than your yoga mat. You might even want to step sideways onto your yoga mat to keep from slipping. Let's open up into a 5-pointed star expression. Hands up as high as the shoulders permit, listening to the body. Inhaling as we open and extend through the fingertips. Exhaling as we come down, elbows in towards the waist, and knees go straight out towards your toes, probably towards the second and third toes if we take a look at our feet. Let's check in with the foundation, pressing into the inner blades of the feet, into the outer blades of the feet. Press into your heels and into the ball of the feet. Come down maybe a little lower. Now check in with your hips. Are they happy going straight down? So maybe your body moves like a piece of toast coming up and down into a toaster. Or maybe there's a little tiny bit of play in the low back. It's okay to come straight up and then to come down and let those hips go back just a little bit. From here, let's inhale, rising up, 5-pointed star. Press the palms together over your head. Maybe look up and do a little back bend. The body practiced this back bend already. Come to center, separate the hands. Exhale, moonflower. Pull those elbows in tight. We're trying to squeeze the lymph nodes under the armpits. Inhale, rising up, just like a jumping jack. Palms pressed together overhead. Looking up, inhale a little more. Let's pull up through the sternum and the ribs, open the throat, and then exhale, coming down. Elbows squeeze into the waist and into the ribs. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Pause, a little more breath. Inhale, back bend, open throat. Exhale, come down. If you're starting to get a little warm, that is what this is for. We're opening up the navel, revving up metabolism. Inhale, and then exhale. Hold it in that down position. Let's turn the palms up. Take a look at the palms and see that they are higher than the heart. So think of the heart resting in the center of the chest. If we have the wrist at shoulder height, that's high enough. You don't have to go any higher. So let's open the palms, and then we're just going to quickly make a fist, curl the fingers in, and then release. So you're going to pump, release, curl, release, curl, release. Good. So just this quick pumping action. This is what we use to promote lymphatic drainage from the upper extremities of the body, moving them towards the thoracic duct region. Just a few more. 3, 2, 1. Relax the hands down. From wherever you are, turn the left toe forward, turn the right toe out, bending that right knee. We are in a warrior 2 stance. From where we are, let's inhale, take the arms out, extending out into your mighty warrior 2 expression. Let's look out over the left or the right fingertips. Steady the gaze, notice any impulse to look away. Think about drawing those shoulders down towards the hips. Take a look at where the hips and shoulders are. You can reach forward, reach back, and try to stack those shoulders directly over your hip bones. From here, let's turn that right palm up. Let your left hand come down. Reach straight up to the sky with that right arm. And we might even look up in alignment with the heart, or turn the head back over your left shoulder. Inhale, reaching to the sky. Imagine you're holding on to 1,000 helium balloons. Keep bending that right knee so that length in the right side of the body opens us up. Big inhale. One more. Inhale, big breath. And now exhaling, side angle. Let's flow that right elbow to the right thigh. And we're going to circle that left arm back and around a few times. So take it back. As you open the arm, inhale, maybe look up just a little bit. Exhale, bring the head to center or down to the floor. Keeping the fingertips as much as we can within our peripheral vision. Just watching as that arm circles and noticing the breath. Inhale to open, exhale to close. Let's do 2 more. Big inhale. Remember, this can be done with an elbow as well. Equally powerful if you open from the armpit and then bring it around. When you're ready, inhale, open it up, sweep it back, bend the left elbow, and set the knuckles by your hip or low back. Let's straighten that right leg. And at this point, maybe draw that left shoulder back a little bit more. We could look down at the floor. This is going to be probably the safest place. Looking down works with gravity. You could just sort of test the body a little bit. Look in the direction of your heart. And then maybe turn the head and the neck and the gaze up towards the sky. So looking up is very traditional, but it is also the most strenuous for the neck. Option to hold where you are, or maybe take that left hand away from the back, straight up as an extension from the shoulder. And of course, you're welcome to slide that right hand down to your shin, or to your ankle, maybe to the inside of the foot on the floor. No matter where you go with this, check in with the body. And as you make changes, as you move your feet or move the hands, check in with the body. Is the body in agreement with the position that you've chosen? And did our ego choose this pose today, or did we allow the body to choose the pose today? Let's practice 2 more big inhales here. Remember, if it doesn't feel good, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in painful places. 1 more big inhale. When you're ready, lower that left hand down to your left hip or waist. Let's bend the right knee and safely bring ourselves up to our warrior 2 expression again. looking out over the right fingertips. Steady the gaze. Find the breath. When you're ready, hands to the hips. Let's swivel that right foot forward. Take the left toe out. Moving into warrior two on the other side. Let's find our hip bones are leveled. Bend the left knee. Look down at the left foot. Press back through that right heel, keeping both knees soft. Let's extend out through our fingertips. Looking over the left fingertips now. As we look over those left fingertips, steady the gaze. Notice any impulse to look away. Notice when the mind is distracted, and just commit to stay still in the body. Stay still with the sensations, with the distractions. When you're ready, lower that right hand down. Let's turn the left palm up. Reach straight up through those fingertips. Keep bending that left knee. Inhaling, opening from the armpit and ribs. Knowing at any time you could bend the arm, pulling out of the armpit and the elbow. We're being drawn towards the sky while we keep the feet rooted into the earth. At least 2 more big breaths. Is your neck comfortable? Position your head in a comfortable place. Big inhale. 1 more big breath. Exhaling through to side angle. Let's take that left elbow down to your thigh or the hand to the thigh. We're circling that right arm back and around, back towards the hip and then forward and around, matching the breath to the movement. Inhaling as we open, big inhale, track the movement of the arm. Exhale as the hand comes down. Let's try keeping the fingers in our peripheral vision at least. There's a little bit more movement here for your neck and head. This can feel very different from left to right. This is going to encourage the stretching of muscles that could affect sensations in different organs. As we're opening the right side of the body, maybe stretching over the liver a little more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Just 1 more. Inhale, open. This time, let's take the knuckles to our low back or your hand to the waist. As we're holding side angle pose, let's draw that right shoulder back just a little more. And maybe think about turning the head up towards the ceiling. Breathing mostly into your upper right lung. Continuing to press down into the blades of the feet, feeling as if your thighs are rolling out. Try squeezing the buttocks muscles here. Maybe even push down into your left foot and press the left knee out just a tiny bit, just a millimeter or 2. We can hold it here or straightening that left leg. We may want to explore this a little more, transitioning into triangle pose. Sliding that left hand down to your shin. We can straighten the arm and prop up the spine. Maybe the hand to the ankle. Maybe that hand goes to the floor. Once we have a foundation in place, feet are rooted into the earth, left hand has found a resting point, then we can extend that right arm straight up to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale. One more big breath in. Exhale. Remember, you don't have to stay here. Let's bend the left knee. Lower the right hand. Inhale, coming up slowly. Easy does it for warrior 2. Reach out through the fingertips. Looking out over the left fingertips in our warrior 2 expression. Steady the gaze. 1 more big breath. When you're ready, bring both hands to the hips. Let's turn both toes forward. And take the feet out so that the heels are wider than the fleshy hip. From here, let's inhale, sweep the arms back behind you, and maybe lace the fingers together. Option to keep the hands by your low back, or even stack the arms, reaching across elbow to elbow, loosely by the back, or laced fingers. You can press down or keep a bend in the elbows. Take a moment to establish comfort in your shoulders. Plenty of time to experiment with different expressions with those arms and shoulders. Let's keep the chin down. Inhale into the chest and pull up through the sternum. Standing back bend with a straddle stance. Big inhale. Option to lift the chin if it feels comfortable. Inhale, allow the breath to lengthen the upper spine. Pull up through the ribs, and then exhale. Naturally, the chest and ribs are going to contract. Let's try 2 more. Big inhale, pull the navel in and up, and then exhale. 1 more. We can stay standing or inhale. Press the hips back and slowly drop the chest. Option to keep the hands by your back. If the fingertips are laced, we can always take the hands a little bit away from the back. No matter where we go with this, let's check in with our neck. Be sure that there is maybe there's a little tightness in the shoulders and neck. That's a sign that muscles might be engaging, but there's no pain with this. 1 more big inhale. Let's all lower the hands down. From wherever you are, check in, shake your head yes, turn it left and right. Just for today, let's all bring the hands up to the shins, even bringing them to the thighs if that's more comfortable. Avoid the kneecaps. Let's straighten the arms so that we find that we have a flat back with our straddle position. From here, shift the weight into your right hip. Maybe even lift the right hip one inch higher than the left hip. Now reach across with your right hand to that left shin or to the left thigh, keeping a little bit of a lift in that hip. Take the weight over into the left hip, push into your right foot. Maybe lift the left hip just 1 inch more. And now try to find where both hips are leveled, balancing out the height of the hips. When you're ready, release that right hand to the shin or to the right thigh. Let's lift that left hip just maybe 1 inch higher than the right. And now take the left hand across to your right shin or right thigh. Lift the right hip a little bit. Push into the left foot. Shift the weight forward into the fronts of the feet. Try not to sink the weight back into the heels. Lift the right hip and now level the hips. Just move the hips left and right a little. And when you're ready, slowly bring that left hand away, both hands to the shins. Let's soften our knees and then heel toe the feet together. So just inch those feet back to center. Drop the hips down as deep as the body wants to go. Hands are on the shins or on the thighs. Back is flat. Let's shift forward into the feet and lift the heels just enough to slide a credit card under the heels. Just a tiny lift. Now, if you start to notice a shake in your thighs, a quiver or shake in the hips or the back, that is completely normal. There are very tiny muscles in the body that stitch up and stabilize the hips, the knees, the ankles, feet, back. And as we get into those tiny muscles, as we wake those tiny muscles up, sometimes it makes a little quiver in the body. That's natural. Maybe you come down a little more, squeeze the knees in towards each other without touching the knees together. Drop the heels, inhale, stand. Really slow. Now kick off those legs. From wherever you are, let's come to a still point, moving into a standing balancing posture today. So if you want to grab a quick sip of water, go ahead and grab a quick sip of water before we do our standing balancing pose. Our standing balancing posture today is a warrior 3 pose, and it is adapted so that we can isolate the hips and the legs, no distraction from the upper body. All right, so if you come back from grabbing a sip of water, have some sort of support nearby. To give you a visual on warrior 3, this posture is traditionally done with one leg back, and then we tilt the body forward. A variation on this, we could reach the arms behind us. Sometimes we call this an airplane expression. And of course, you could take your arms out to the side as well. So take your time and just stand on one foot. Let your body choose for you. Soft through the knees. Lift through whatever your lifting leg is. Keep that foot flat and swing back just through the hip. Let's level those hips up. So whatever leg you're standing on, usually we need to lift that hip, or whatever leg is open, usually that hip opens a little too much. So we're going to drop the hip of the lifted leg. Drop that hip in just a little bit. One more big inhale, push back through the foot, drop that hip, and now slowly come up. Let's do the other side. Shifting our weight, the knees are soft, lifting the other leg, flat foot, swing back through the hip, lowering down, and whatever leg is back, we want to drop that hip down just a little bit. Steady the breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the nose, or exhale from the throat, keeping the lips together. One more big breath. When you're ready, slowly come up and come out of it. Let's shake off the knees. All right, so let's come down to the floor. There are a lot of ways to get down to the floor. If you've been instructed by an OT or a PT to move in a specific way, please follow their instruction. One of the ways that it is recommended to transition for safety is for us to have a support nearby, and whatever hand has a support, that same leg is going to go back while the outside hand comes to a thigh. We're just going to come down, straight down into a lunge. From here, we can sweep our outside leg around. We're coming into either kneeling, staying on the knees, or go ahead and sit back for comfort. We're creating a foundation for supported camel pose. All right, so for our supported camel pose today, you can stay on the knees, you can sit back if that's comfortable, or sit down. Anything goes here. Let's make fist with the hands, sweep the elbows back and around, and place the flat part of the fist down on the low back, or even a little bit lower on the side of the sacrum. From here, let's roll those shoulders back, no matter where you are with this. Drop the chin, inhale, pull up through the ribs, maybe even open the throat. So we only lift the chin after we have that length in the upper spine. Let's try 2 more big inhales here. Inhaling into the nose. One more big breath. When you're ready, relax your hands. Roll out the wrist. Let's come into any easy seated position. From easy seated, let's practice Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breath. So this is a very traditional breathing technique used to balance left and right hemispheres of the brain. If you think that you would rather lie down at this point, maybe your body is already telling you that it wants to lie down and relax, please listen to your body. From this breathing technique, we are going to lie down. We're not going to stay seated for very long. So to do Nadi Shodhana, I am right-handed, so I'm using my right hand. Peel down your peace fingers, turn them down so that you're using your thumb and your ring finger to do this breathing technique. So to begin, we're going to close off the right nostril with the thumb, and we inhale one single inhale into the left nostril. Pause at the top of that breath. Come around with your hand. Ring finger closes the left nostril. Now exhale on the right. Pause, inhale right. Bring it around, close off the right. Exhale, inhale left. Bring the hand around, exhale, inhale right. Bring the hand around, exhale, inhale left. Bring it around, exhale once on the right. Now release, inhale both. And exhale both. Let's practice maybe 3 to 5 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale from the nose. Chin down. One more. Now relax. If you're not already lying on the floor, I invite you to go ahead and get comfortable for just some final movement and a little bit of relaxation and guided meditation. To come down to lying down on the floor, you might want to, again, roll to the side, use the hands to gently guide the body down, and then slowly roll back. Your body might want to express some different movements here. So notice if any part of the body feels like it needs to move more. Maybe we want to stretch out like a stick. You can stretch your legs out and reach the arms overhead. This is called the pond gesture. This is a yoga pose to stretch your arms and your legs. Big stretch. You might notice that you need a little more twisting. So maybe you just twist it over to one side, working some twist in through the spine. There's no right or wrong decision to make here. Move if your body wants to move. Move in any natural way. Be still if your body is just done. If your body's craving stillness, listen to that in your body. You don't have to move. At some point, let's come to stillness with the body and get comfortable for final meditation and relaxation. From wherever you are, take the hands out away from the body with the palms facing up. Become aware of the left hand. And as you inhale, imagine that you receive the breath into your left hand and the breath moves to the center of your chest. Then exhale and have a sense of that energy leaving out from the right side of your heart, out your right arm, out the right hand. Inhaling into the left side of the body to the center of the chest, and then exhaling out from your heart, out through the palm of the right hand. Let's maybe just allow that wave of prana to move through the left and out the right just a couple more times. Inhaling left, exhaling right. This is known as the practice of Chandra Veda. This is a moon breath or a moon energy. Now maybe reverse it just for a second. And as you inhale, imagine that the breath enters into the palm of your right hand and it comes to the center of your chest. Pause when you're ready, exhaling, releasing that energy from the heart out of the left arm, out the palm of the left hand. Inhaling right, exhaling left. Surya Veda. Now maybe let's inhale into the palms of both hands. Bring the breath into the heart and up to your head. And when you're ready to exhale, pause. The breath is going to drop down to the heart and out the hands. We're just following a specific energetic meridian with the breath, pulling the life force in through the palms of the hands to the chest, straight up to the middle of the brain. And as we exhale, the life force drops down through the chest and out from your shoulders and your hands. We could even give it a color. So maybe we inhale white light, radiant white light, in through the palms of the hands to the center of the chest, up to the center of the brain. And we just pause there, embrace being the embodiment of that healing white light. When you're ready, exhale. The light is gold. It symbolizes a healthy and radiant life force, a radiant aura. This gold energy can represent our soul, or the transcendent part of us that projects out from the physical body. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the nose or from your throat. Let's practice just seeing that life force moving through the body for at least a quiet couple of minutes. Breathe into the hands, into the chest, up to the brain, and then exhale down from the heart, out from the hands. As we continue to breathe and feel the energy of the life force moving through us, out from us, united with that life force, let's deepen our breath. Exhale. breathe into the whole body. The whole body has the ability to inhale and exhale through our skin. The largest organ that we have is the skin. So as you inhale, absorb the breath through the bodysuit. And then exhale, allow the breath to just gently move out from your pores, radiating that warm gold light. I thank you for joining me today for our Yoga for Everybody session. I look forward to seeing you next time. If your body is ready to get up and move, please just move really slow. You may want to bend your knees or rock a little bit, maybe even move your hands and let the head move. When your body is ready to come up, take your time rolling to one side. There's no rush with this. Eventually bring yourself up to seated. Take in a few deep breaths. From wherever you are today, I look forward to seeing you next week. Namaste, everyone. Go enjoy this lovely day.